Hey everyone, it's Graham from Great Off-Road Adventures here. Look, today we're out and about having an explore, and I thought it's a perfect opportunity to talk about some winching techniques. So we've got the nice new carbon winch on the front of the car, and I thought, why not demonstrate how to do a single line pull, a double line pull, and how to use your winch pulley block that you get in the carbon winch kit to winch around a corner or move obstacles out of the track, and obviously you also need to use it for your double line pull. So we'll start with nice basic winching techniques and move to a couple more advanced ones. It's good to know how it all works because a day like today we're running solo, no one else out here, and that's one of the main reasons why I fitted a winch to my car. Is I do go out and about solo sometimes, and I want to know that peace of mind that I can get myself out of trouble with the best tool for the job. So where we are exploring today is an area just north of Perth. It's called the Pines. And it's a bit of an off-road area, a bit of an off-road mecca. A lot of dirt bikes here. It's very popular with the dirt bikes, but the tracks are all very, very soft sand. So we've let the tyres down a little bit. We'll see how we go. Chance the car might get bogged. If it does, we'll show you how to get it out. Otherwise, there's a little bit of a hill in the back corner that I'm going to, and we can do some simulated winching up that hill there. So let's jump back in the car, head over there, get stuck into it. Here we are, we're doing a bit of a run around, a bit of an explore. We found this big sandy area and I thought this would be a great spot to film. So what I've done, I've just bogged the car a little bit on this uphill sandy slope, and there's a great big tree behind you which we'll go and look at now. I will show you how to set up your tree trunk protector so you don't ring bark the tree, you don't kill the tree then, and obviously then we'll employ a single line pull to pull the car out of here. So we'll start with the tree first, show you how to set that up, and then we'll run the winch rope out. Let's go over there. So this is the tree we're going to use as our ground anchor, or our anchor point for the winch. So I've got a tree trunk protector here, and the reason why you use this and you don't just wrap your winch rope around the tree is obviously the winch rope's very fine, and it'll ring bark the tree, or it'll cut into the bark. Obviously that destroys your winch rope, but it also will eventually kill the tree. So you get a proper tree trunk protector. It's nice and wide, the strap's nice and wide, distributes that force, and it protects the tree, protects your gear. Also, this is a lot cheaper to replace if it gets damaged than it is a whole winch rope. So the reason why I picked this tree, it's obviously, it's nice and big diameter, it's healthy, it's not dead, because dead trees have got a bad habit of pulling out on you. It's nice and healthy, the leaves are green, it's nice and big diameter, it's in firmly, so it'll be a good one to use as a ground anchor. So obviously with your tree trunk protector, all you're doing, you're literally passing around the tree. And then obviously this is where we'll connect the two ends together with the winch rope. So let's go run the winch rope out now. We'll hook it all up, get the car out. So let's get into it. Well, now we've got the winch line off. That was hard work pulling up the hill. Anyway, let's rig it up. Then the last thing I'll do is I'll go down to the car, get a blanket, put it over the winch line, engage the clutch. We've got a live winch line then. We'll get the car out. So obviously you got to equal out two bits of strap. That's about there. Get your shackle out. The pin of the shackle goes through the factor 55. So here, this is what I'm looking to do with the two straps, is put them on this side of the shackle, and obviously pin through the link, do it up, And it's very important on every recovery you do, whether it's a snatch strap or a winch, you go finger tight with your pin on your shackle and you come back quarter or half a turn. As soon as you load that up, if that pin's done all the way up, it'll bind and you'll need to get tools out or you can never get it undone again. So it's very important to come back that half a turn. Anyway, that's all rigged up. Put a blanket on it, get the car out. So this is the blanket. I like to come through from underneath, put it in the middle, fold it over, do it up. That here, it's positioned quite close to the metal where the shackle is and the Pro Link, the end of the winch line, and that obviously is to stop if the tree trunk protector breaks and the metal's involved in whatever's coming towards me. This gives it the most possible opportunity for it to stop. Generally, if the Dyneema rope is to rub on something and break, it doesn't recoil as much. There's no stored energy in the Dyneema. So look, regardless of any of that, the best practice that you can do when you're doing recoveries, and I'm talking snatch straps, winching, all of that, is to look at the length of your recovery and keep people twice that distance away, so that no one should get injured then. Because I've had straps fail in the past and shackles, they just become projectiles. And we were lucky then, we kept everyone back, it snapped. The only thing that was damaged was obviously my pride and some damage on the back of my car. But that's easy, that's repairable. You can't repair it when someone's severely injured or dies from your negligence. So it's important, and probably the most important thing if you take away from this whole video is to keep people twice that distance, your recovery distance, away from the recovery. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to throw the camera on the tripod so that Jess can stand way back and be safe, and we'll get the car out because this is a live line, it's rigged up, it's ready to go. Alright, so I'm still going to wear my seatbelt, of course of good habit. Turn the winch on. It's all rigged up, ready to go. What I'm going to do, I'm in low range already. I've got the diff lock in. I'm going to come all the way down to first gear, obviously handbrake off. What I want to do is I want to have the revs up a little bit just to help the alternator out, help the winch out, and also just spin the tyres just to take some of the load off. So I'm going to start winching in now. And I've just got the revs sitting at about 1250, 1500. So the tyres aren't spinning too much and it's giving the winch a nice healthy piece of power. So after about a minute and a half of winching, it's good just to give it 30 seconds to cool down. The other technique you want to employ when you're winching is actually load the winch up, so winch in without your tyres spinning, load it up. So it's sort of pulling you up and out of the holes, especially this is a good one in sand, so it pulls you up and out of the holes. Otherwise you just keep digging your way forwards. And then as you're pulling up, you gently apply the accelerator. So we'll try that now just as we come to the top of the hill. Should be out any second now. Just starting to level out. I can feel the car starting to provide some drive. Alright, we're out. Well, that's a single line pull complete. Went exactly as planned. Everything worked perfectly. And obviously, pin comes straight out when you do your half a turn. So now we can obviously pack the winch away and keep going. Naturally that's what you would, but what we're going to do, reverse back down, get stuck again, and show you how to do a double line pull and talk to you about why you'd use a double line pull, what the benefits are of it. So anyway, I'm going to leave this out now because we are going to go get stuck again, and we'll get stuck into doing double line pulls. Well, obviously as you can see, car stuck again. We're going to talk about doing double line pulls. What I want to cover off is, before any recovery situation where you get recovery equipment out, you should really look at your surroundings, what the track's like, what the conditions are like, and think about your tyre pressures. So here, I mean, I could let my tyre pressures right down, probably dig out, throw the max tracks in, come straight out, be a lot quicker. Defeats the purpose of showing you guys how to use the carbon winch. So I'm not going to do that. But out there in the real world, when I'm on a trip, 100%, I want to pick the easiest way out all the time, least amount of stress on the car, least amount of recovery equipment, and that would honestly just be let the tyres down some more and throw the max tracks in and come out. So look, that's something you guys need to think about. Obviously, you don't just go out there with one piece of recovery equipment, you go out there with multiple bits, you get your car stuck, you need to be looking at what's happened, thinking about it, thinking about the easiest solution. So anyway, quick touch on that. Let's get this winch out, rig up a double line pull, show you how it works. So because what you do with the double line pull is actually feed the rope through your snatch block, your block and tackle, and it'll go back to the car, it halves the load on the winch because you essentially have two lines pulling, but means you need twice as much winch rope. So hopefully here we have enough. I mean, worst case I've got a tree winch extension in the back, pull it out. But yeah, so I've pulled the Pro Link all the way out. Then I'm going back to the winch, grab the next piece, and I'm pulling that all the way out now. And that should be sort of about the amount of length I need. In my ARB bag here in the back, I keep an equalizer strap. I like to use the equalizer strap, especially due to the weight of this car. When I get snatched out forwards or even on double line winch pulls, I like to use an equalizer strap between my two chassis rails just to equalize the force between them. So that's what I've got here. I've also got two smaller shackles for my front recovery points. Just got to find the pin for the second one, there it is. And we'll rig this up now for a double line winch pull and we'll get the car out. So obviously double line winch pull is a bit more advanced, you need a bit more equipment. You definitely need some extra shackles. So you probably need, I think, 2 shackles, one at the tree and one at the car. In my case, because I'm rigging up my equalizer strap, I need 2 extra shackles for that and an extra strap. So I'll show you how to do that quick. Alright, so you can see there what we've achieved. We've connected the winch line through the equalizer strap to both sides of the chassis, and then obviously that's the rest of the winch line. Now we'll head up to the tree and obviously have a look at how you rig up that snatch block or winch pulley block through your tree trunk protector, and that'll be the last bit for the double line pull. Cool. As we spoke about before in the last video, this is snatch block or winch pulley block, block and tackle, depending what you want to call it. It's obviously got a nice smooth curvature in there, and this rotates. So what you do is you open it up, you put your winch rope through it, and you close it over. And then through this large hole here, it's where you connect your strap with your shackle. So we'll go through like that. Put the strap in, pin in, all the way up, half a turn back. And that's how we want to see it sit, like that. So we'll just tighten the winch in a bit so it's nice and tight, and then we'll show you exactly how it's meant to look. It's pretty simple though. So this is the double line winch pull fully set up. The only thing we've got to do is add one more winch blanket or dampener blanket, which I've got to get out in the car. So how it works is, this is the line that comes out of the winch. It obviously comes out this way, runs through the pulley block, and then this is it here, the second line, and it returns to the vehicle. And obviously in my case, I've set that up with equalizer strap to divide the load down each side of the chassis. But if your vehicle's set up like a Hilux or 79 series, where they just have one recovery point on the front that's rated, you can just go to the one recovery point. And look, I can do that with mine, but call it my OCD, I just like to distribute the load down both sides of the car, have a nice centralized rope down the middle. It looks nice and neat, it looks cool, and it's also, you know, a little bit lighter load on the car. So this is fully set up. All I'm going to do now is add the iron mat, add my other dampener blanket, and we'll get the car out. So the way it's set up, obviously dampener blanket on both ropes. One down that end, because that's the end where the Pro Link is and the middle shackles. So we don't want, if that fails, any bits of those metal can become a projectile going that way. Henceforth why the blanket's on that end. My second blanket is up this end, and that's near the pulley block and the shackle that mounts all this. So that's there. So that if any of those straps or whatever break, those metal objects, they're going to go flying that way. So that's why I've got the dampener blanket on both ends of the recovery. And obviously again, double line winch pull, you've got all that winch rope, plus that again, and that's your distance you need to keep your onlookers, your helpers and all that back so that everyone's safe. So now this is set up, I'll jump in the car, put the camera on the tripod again, we'll all stand back, we'll get the car out. Alright, so double line winch pull set up. Seatbelt back on, winch on. And winch in. So one of the things that will happen with the double line winch pull is, because you've got two lines out, the winch actually operates at half the speed. But that's also how it gets double the pulling power. So that's one of the couple of the pros and cons Well, there we go, we're out. How easy was that? Out as easily as that. Car wasn't so far down the hill this time because we didn't have enough winch rope to reach the tree if I went all the way to the bottom. They're all good. Anyway, let's unpack it. Let's pack it all up and we'll cruise around and we'll try and find an obstacle or something to use the snatch block at and pull it out of the track, so show you how you can winch around corners and that sort of thing. One of the really important things I like to do is, after having run pretty much all the winch rope out on a double line pull like that, is make sure it's not knotted up or bundled up on the spool to one side or the drum. So it is a little bit in this case. So what I'm going to do is actually pull it out and then wind it back in again. Awesome. That's a lot neater now, so what I can do is just wind it all in nice and neatly. I was driving around exploring and I've been looking for somewhere that I could set up the pulley block to winch around a corner or clear an object off of the track. So just here we found this tree. It's a pine tree that's fallen down, and look, someone's kindly gone and chopped up all the little logs, or chopped it up into little pieces, but this big piece here is still all together. And it's sort of blocking the track. It's making the track pretty narrow over there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the good citizen thing, and we'll actually pull that bit of the tree out of the way. So I can't really get my car in over there in the bushes, but there's a nice big pine tree here. So what we'll do, we'll reposition the car first, put a tree trunk protector around the pine tree with the pulley block. And so that will curve the winch line around so that it then connects on this end, and we'll pull it towards the pine tree and pull it off of the track. So that's the plan. And obviously the reason why I'm showing you this is as a lead vehicle, I come across objects in the track quite often. 90% of the time there's a line around it, but if it's freshly fallen you might need a chopper with a chainsaw, or if it's really big, this winching technique is absolutely perfect for it. So even if you're on your own, guys, you come across a tree that's down, have a look, see if you can clear it, because often you can. So watch this winching techniques, how we set up the pulley block, see where we connect it, how we position things, and you might even be able to employ it on your own adventure. And look, this is a really useful thing. Once you've got that pulley block, you know, the snatch block, winch pulley block, whatever you call it, you can even use it in a situation if you're on a gnarly track and there's a corner and there's a car in front that's stuck, you can use a tree. You might not be able to position your car in a straight line to actually pull your mate straight out. You might need to use a tree and curve your winch line using this pulley block technique to pull them out. So it's really handy. Once you understand how that pulley block works, you've got pretty much infinite possibilities with the winch on pulling in any direction. All you need is a good tree or a good anchor or something, another vehicle, whatever, that you can use your pulley block and curve the winch line. So let's move the car quick, clear this out. That's set up ready to go. Tree trunk protector, snatch block and shackle are there. All we're going to have to do is pull some more winch line off and then go and hook it up behind you. But actually I think I've probably got enough winch line pulled off to set this up now. So again, come and have a closer look at how the pulley block works. Once you learn how to open it, it's super straightforward. So it's just the two pieces. The top, just if you slide it all the way around, that's open there. Then obviously lay your winch rope in and then close it. And as soon as that shackle goes through the eye, it's impossible for it to open again. So anyway, we'll rig that shackle up now. There we go, we've got all the winch line off that we need. I'll just go and grab another tree trunk protector. It'll actually be my equalizer strap, but it does the same job. And we'll just hook it around there and pull it out of the way. And then when we do that, I'll walk you over the winch line before we put it under tension, show you exactly how it works through that pulley block. Alright, so everything's set up here. We're hooked up to the tree, got the pulley block in place, winches engaged. Again, because there's sort of two lines here, we're going to need both of the dampeners. So I'm going to put it up that end because there's metal, and I'm going to put the next one here because there's metal. Now we've got a bit of safety and protection in place. You can see here, there's not a whole heap of tension on the line, just enough to lift it up. I can show you guys how it's all set up. So here it is, it's all hooked up. So you can see there on the pulley block, now that's all hooked up, how it runs on that groove on the pulley. And then obviously the next winch line comes across and hooked up to the tree, clear it off of the track. So you can do exactly the same technique to a winch you made out of trouble. Especially if you're on a gnarly track, you can't position your car directly in front or behind them. There we go, we'll call that job done. You can see we've pretty much doubled the width of the track now, just by quickly moving that tree out of the way. So yeah, it's a great technique to employ, guys, especially if you have a lead vehicle and you've got a winch on the front of you, driving the tracks in winter, finding trees down. This one here we probably could have moved by hand if we had a bit of the manpower with us and the team, but being out here solo, you don't want to injure yourself. Plus, showed you guys how to use that carbon winch. It's pretty cool. So, winching techniques, it's important to know how to employ them, and it's important to know how to employ them safely. Anyway, let's pack the gear up. It's probably the last thing I wanted to show you guys today. Let's get back out of here without getting bogged. So just a little tip, guys, when you're doing your packing up, is always sort of start from one end and start from the furthest end and work towards the car. So I could quite easily here just throw the shackle in the car, keep undoing the winch rope, completely forget about my equalizer strap. So that's what I do when I'm packing up gear. I start from the furthest point, work towards the car. So I've undone this shackle and this equalizer strap. I'll get it off of the tree and then I'll move on down the line. Cool, that'll do. Oh, strap needs a bar. That wraps up the winching techniques, everyone. You probably heard me rant and ramble and carry on throughout the video about safety. I'm just going to say it again. Make sure, regardless of what recovery scenario you come across, take 10 seconds, use your situational awareness, take on board what's going on and employ the safest possible recovery. So if that's your winch, your snatch strap, your max tracks, whatever, just make sure you're doing it safely. If you do employ a strap or a winch, make sure you keep everybody back. Loosen off your shackles by half a turn and stop them binding up. Throw dampener blankets on everything. If you don't have dampener blankets, find a little branch, use a jumper, use a towel, anything that will put a bit of weight on that rope or strap and drop it to the ground if it breaks, if something breaks. So look, I'll stop harping on and carrying on about the safety. That was one of the big things I wanted to cover in this video, was make sure you're doing things safely. But look, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took something away from it. If you do like what we're doing, hit like, hit subscribe, and look, have fun. Hope to see you out there and enjoy your own adventures, guys. See you next time.